LeBron though, or like Lonzo. Ooh, I'm a baller, yeah, shot caller, yeah. They love me, you can't touch me, nah, can't trust me. I'm too lucky. Look at me, look at you, what you see, what you do. Baby, please think it through, drink it up, enjoy the view. MVP on my crew, Nike on my shoes. Might be sipping booze, slightly feeling loose. If I want it, then I have it.
Boom, boom, boom. This is Jared and I'm back. Hey guys, man, I'm super excited to do this tonight. We've got Lisa Baxter commenting already. Steve Belcher, we got Steve the kidney nurse in the house. Thanks for your comments, Steve. Watching from YouTube, peace and blessings. Thanks, my brother. Man, I'm so excited to do this. I've been looking forward to this. And when we had technical difficulties last night, man, I was so embarrassed. I've got them resolved, and we're doing this again tonight. All right, we're gonna make this rock. All right, we're gonna do this. But all right, if you're new to this, all right, and this is your first time seeing the Warriors Quest show, all right, I am Jared A. Brown, the host of the Warriors Quest show. And every week, I spotlight a kidney disease warrior, and I spotlight that person's need for a living kidney donor. And tonight, I have that opportunity. I'm now privileged I'm honored, really, in regards to having my special guest on tonight, Philip Jones Jr. Special guest. All right. But if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. All right. Don't be stingy. All right. Just like Lisa said a moment ago. All right. Hit that share button. Smash it. All right. Smash that share button because I can't do this alone. All right. I need your help. So smash that share button. Comment. Drop a comment. And let's make this super interactive. All right. The algorithm is bound to us. All right. When we drop a comment, when we share, and we make this super interactive, then the algorithm shares this with other people, like-minded people in the kidney disease community, living donor community, so on and so forth. That's right, Lisa. Don't be stingy. Anyway, back to my special guest. All right, my special guest has been battling, all right, kidney failure since he was 4 years old. He's a part of the YNOTT. He's a California representative of the YNOTT Foundation. All right. He's also a California. Well, he's the California rep for the YNOTT Foundation, but he's the founder and one of the hosts of a second chance show with Tafaro Cook. If you haven't already, I'm going to ask you to zoom over to their YouTube channel, slap on that subscribe button, and subscribe to their channel. All right. So Philip and Tafaro are the host of a second chance show, and they're doing very good things on this show. So if you haven't already, zoom over there, preferably not when you're watching this show right now, but when you're finished, all right, or open up another tab and click on that subscribe button and subscribe to their YouTube channel, all right? So anyway, here we go. I'm going to bring on our special guest. We're going to hear his story, all right, about how he's been battling, all right, since 4 years old, all right? All right, Lisa, I love your comments, Lisa. So we got Lisa Baxter in the house, all right? She's the host of the Lisa Baxter Show. She's been a part of the Urban Health Outreach Media, and she's a friend of mine. She actually met physically, not just virtually online, but she met my twin brother in New York when my twin brother was visiting the United States. My twin brother, Jeffrey A. Brown, lives in Abu Dhabi in the UAE. And so she actually met him in New York. A really cool fun fact. But anyway, here we go. Bringing on our special guest, Philip Jones Jr. Here we go. You know what time it is. All right, you know what time it is. VIP. Boom. Philip, my brother, how are you?
Jared A. Brown, my brother. I'm hanging in there, sir. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm super blessed. Super blessed. You know, I've got a week off, paid time off from my work. My brother-in-law from Arizona, he and his family are visiting. So, you know, took a week off from work, PTO, and visiting with him and his family and doing fun things. He's from here originally, if you know what I mean, but he's lives in Arizona, in
Okay.
the Phoenix metro area, and so we've I'm a huge basketball fan. So is he, and so we went to the Salt Lake City Summer Games, which is put on by the Utah Jazz, and so we went to the where the Utah Jazz play, Vivint Arena, and we watched some summer games a couple days ago. And we're doing some fun things like that while they're visiting. But I'm super blessed. How are you?
I'm doing good, sir. Blessed as well, sir. Just trying to make things happen and keep pushing one day at a time.
Nice, nice. I've always thought that you do have a very good outlook, um, always vibrant, and you've got positive vibes. I like that about you.
I appreciate that. Just try to keep you know, my to a high level, and just always trust God for what's gonna happen the next day.
Amen, amen. That's what we need to do. I try to do that as often as I can as well. So tell me a little bit. Let's introduce people to your story, because to me it's remarkable. As I said offline a moment ago, I although I produced it, I rewatched your interview with Bella from Bella's Hope for Healing, and
Mhm.
it's an amazing story. So tell us a little bit about how it all started when you were 4 years old, and what was the diagnosis of what was happening to you?
Well, before I get started, if you don't mind, man, I'd love to give a shout out to all the kidney warriors out there, all the living donors that are out there. Fred, Lisa Baxter, Karen just got her kidney May 18th. So congratulations to you, my brother Tafaro Cook, Edward Drake, uh, all my people at the YNOTT Foundation. Uncle Jim just popped in. Appreciate you joining us, Uncle Jim. But to get started with my story, man, it started when I was four, glomerulonephritis, and my kidney function dropped to 30%.
Okay.
I
Hmm.
spent about 2.5 months in the hospital at four. They let me out. I think I had about a month of dialysis outside of the hospital. And then it's really a gap between and 16 because nothing
Hmm.
really happened in that time. I just, I went to school. I tried to say the normal kid instead of everybody thinking of me as the sick kid. That's I think one of the one issues that pediatric patients have to deal with is trying to be looked at as a normal kid.
Hmm.
When in reality we're not really all that normal. We're normal in our own sense, but
Right.
um, so like I said, went through school. Didn't even I didn't know anybody my story.
Nobody.
Nobody knew my story in college. Um, and I kept it to myself. Some people found out after because I ended up having to take the second semester in your high school year off. because of the transplant. It came in February 2007. And
Okay.
I was 17 years old at the time. And so, I ended up going to graduation because I was, recovered well and everything like that. Recovery process went like this for me. So, I was able to attend graduation to support my friends and things of that nature. So, once people started seeing me where I was at for the past 6 months, then that's when it kind of came out. I've been dealing with kidney disease since I was 4, blah 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 blah.
Okay.
So, um, 3 great years I had with that kidney. I went to the transplant games of America in 2008, which that year was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I ended up actually tearing my right meniscus in those games, which caused me, which actually was the reason why my kidney failed, was because the one thing that I didn't know, which I should have probably known, but it's, not blaming anybody, none of the doctors or anything like that. Um, but I didn't know I wasn't supposed to take Motrin. And
Mm-hmm.
so at the time, I had to get on a plane to come back to LA from Pittsburgh. It's a 4-hour flight, in the
Right. That's
small in those small Southwest chairs, there's no
it's
room to
tight. Yeah.
stretch out. Right. So, like I said, it's my knee. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
I feel you.
I went to the closest little stores that I could find, and none of them had Tylenol. And this was literally like my first time in the airport, the second time because the first time was going to Pittsburgh. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know how flight cancellations work, rerouting people to the place. I didn't know how any of that worked. So I knew I had to stay close to the people that I was with. So everybody that was around me were liver patients, heart patients, everybody that could take Motrin, but a kidney patient that can't and needed Tylenol because I know they would have had it with them.
Right.
So I knew I couldn't take the pain, so I took the Motrin. Like I said, at the time I didn't know. Otherwise, I probably would have just gutted it out. Um, and so when that happened, the rejection happened in 2010.
Okay. Uh-huh.
I went back on um, hemodialysis. Went to not back to him, but my original time in hemodialysis because the first time I went on PD was only for 6 months.
Okay. You're on
And
PD for only 6 months?
so, yeah, I was only on PD for 6 months before I had my transplant. But because,
Okay.
that was because I was a pediatric and pediatrics had priority
Right.
on the
Right.
list, if you didn't know that. So,
Mm-hmm.
I, like I said, went back on hemo, had to take some time off from school, and then around 2013 when I got back on peritoneal dialysis, I made the switch finally, and I slowly made myself get back in school. I took a class, a semester, to kind of
Okay.
get back my bearings, studying
Right.
habits and test taking and homework and things of that nature. So I did that for a good while, and then I kind of just like recently turned it up. So now I'm working on my second associate's degree, which is in theater arts,
Awesome.
and
Awesome.
first one
Fantastic.
is in education to be a teacher. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll be transferring to a university next year. Um, and so
Mad props.
before I kind of get to that, in 2018, I went to the Transplant of America again. That was in Salt Lake City, is in Utah.
Yeah. Right. Now, if I could just mildly interrupt you, if I may, when
Mm-hmm.
I replayed your interview with Bella and you talked about that, I I was at, because I'm from Utah. I live about 40
Right.
miles north. I live about 40 miles north of Salt Lake City, and I was at some of the events, and so there may have been a chance. I don't know. Maybe maybe we are at one of the same events. I mean, the chances are pretty small, but maybe. But I was at the transplant games in 2018. It's crazy, but who knows? Maybe we walked right by each other or something.
I have a feeling we did. For some
Yeah.
reason, seeing your face keeps popping in my head at those games. But yeah, it was a awesome time to get back, you know, to my transplant family and, you know,
Mm-hmm.
talking to the people who are on my team and other people's teams and things of that nature. You know, it's something that I look forward to for 10 years.
Get
I was
back, right?
like, I'm going back again
Mm-hmm.
in 2010. That happened out. So give me some time to get my bearings together and myself situated. So, like I said, we got to Utah. I said, okay, that's yeah, that is close enough. So, like I said, made that trip and went. Um, and that same that same year, at that games was where I met Edward Drake, who's the CEO of the YNOTT Foundation. We
Okay.
connected there.
Okay.
You know, we get back and get situated at the house. You know, give me a call. So I called him like around November, December, somewhere around there, because we were
Something
just
like
getting ready
that.
for the toy drive that we do annually every year.
Okay.
And so you know, he was like, you know, you want to do a toy drive out there? I was like, yeah, but we could never get in touch with the people at hospitals to be able to do it. So I actually helped my first one in 20. Did, you know, the first one out here for the school supply drive and the toy drive. And so we're getting ready for our school supply drive for this year. Out here, we're going to Children's Hospital of LA. We'll be going to different pediatric dialysis and transplant departments around the country: Michigan, Atlanta, Georgia,
Wow.
Florida,
Wow. That's
DMV
awesome.
area. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so you know that was one of the
Awesome.
best things that's happened for me, was to be able to join the organization, because it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I never got the opportunity to do it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I checked in with all these other organizations, and nobody would get back to me. You know, NKF, AAKP, all these other organizations would never get back to me. You know, then I met Edward, and in one day, you know, things happen like
It
this.
happened. Yeah.
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 So, uh, but I thought, you know, and then like I said, started a second chance in 2001,
Mm-hmm.
March 2001, and I originally started that show with Austin Lee, and then
Okay.
stepped away. And then Tafaro Cook took his place in July of 2021, and so
Okay. Uh-huh.
he's been on board since then, so making a great impact on the
Yeah,
show. Great
both
impact
those
on the
brothers
show.
are good guys. Both of them. Both of them are good guys. So man, I just love that you're connected with the Why Not Foundation. I'm just, I can't say enough about them and the good things that they're doing, not only for the kids but just for the communities. I think it's fantastic, and just they're good people, and it's a shame these other organizations didn't get back with you. But at on the flip side, you're probably where you need to be. Um,
Yeah,
Why Not Foundation is a good fit. It's like a glove, right?
yeah. And you know what, Jared? I actually left out one thing. And the reason why I like to bring this up is not for, you know, I'm sorry you have to go through that part of it, but it's for people to pay attention to this. But um, 2 months after I went on hemodialysis in 2010,
Hmm.
I had a brain bleed. And that brain
What?
bleed was caused by heparin that they give you during
Right,
hemodialysis.
right. Do you? Hmm.
Right. So,
Wow.
you
They
know,
gave you too
be
much, or
cautious of
was it
that.
just was an adverse reaction?
I don't know if it was necessarily
Wow.
too much or
Wow.
just a reaction.
Yeah.
to the medication itself. So,
Wow.
pay attention to, the amount that they're giving you, as well as, converse with your doctors and say, is the amount they're giving me good enough for my things of that nature. So you don't have to go through the things that I had to go through. I spent
Wow.
about a month
Wow.
and a week in the hospital after
Really?
that surgery. Yeah, it took a while for me because I had about 2 weeks in, I started having swelling
Uh-huh.
on this side of my head, which is where the
That
incision
is
goes down.
scary.
Right?
That is
So
super scary. Wow.
yeah, it was because the first thing I thought about was my grandfather. My grandfather had brain surgery as well.
Really?
Um, yeah,
Wow.
maybe about 2 years, 2 or 3 years before I
Wow.
did,
That
and
really that probably
most
really hit
memory,
home with you then.
yeah, because most of his memory was gone. He had to learn how to walk again, and you know,
Mhm.
power bias, all this stuff like that. That you normally could do on your own. He needed help trying to relearn how to do these things. Um,
Mhm.
and so that's all I kept thinking about is,
Wow.
what if I can mom? What if I can remember my
Mhm.
siblings? My family, my friends. This just like it's like being reborn again in an older body. Because when you're younger at that age, you don't really who people are until you get older and can talk and really remember things.
Get to know them. Right.
So
Yeah.
right. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine what may have been going through your head at that moment because of how your memories of him and bleeding of the brain. I mean, that's scary stuff. And you were in the hospital
Yeah.
for a little over a month after that happened. Wow.
Right. Yeah, and they did the surgery that night. When because I remember I went to the emergency room because I had a real bad headache, and this headache was equivalent to the one that I had a month prior that caused me to have a seizure at choir
Oh,
rehearsal.
wow.
And so that's why I decided to go in because I'm like, I
Right.
can't have a seizure, especially in a house, mess around and fall over on something and breaks or whatever. So
Mhm.
I went to the emergency room, and they did a CAT scan and everything, and there were, the nurse came in, and no, the doctor came told me, you have a brain bleed on the right side of your brain,
Wow.
uh,
Wow.
and said they were getting ready for emergency surgery.
Yeah.
It was definitely a hospital stay to remember.
For sure. I mean, man, I was just gonna say, do you sometimes just think about that moment and think, wow, I've had a surgery because of brain bleeding, and does it seem surreal? I mean, that's just something that, I mean, when you have when there's brain surgery or any sort of surgery in and around, that area, things don't always go right. I mean, your success rate isn't always high. And surgeons are getting obviously the advancements and technology, so on and so forth. But man, that's got to be something that it sticks with you. I mean, what? How has that shaped you? How has that made you who you are today from having overcome that?
Um, I would say it puts the because I've always wondered how is it that I can fight so much. Um, and it really kind of clicked for me when I said I watched you and I watched you fight, and so for me it was like a realization that I can pretty much do anything that I put my mind to and wanted to. That's why I started, a second chance and joined the YNOTT Foundation because I knew that as long as I put my best foot forward, I can make
Hmm.
anything happen. As long as I put that effort into it and that fight into it, then anything is possible. So, and then always having God by my side has always been number one for me. You know,
Amen.
having my parents, my parents got divorced when I was 2, but they, always by my side no matter what. If they can't come together for nothing else, they can definitely come together for me.
Come together for you.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, definitely blessed to have my parents and the family that I have, the loving family that I have. Those are the reasons why I fight to get through these things, is because I want to see them again. I want to function with them again. I
Hmm.
want to be around them again. And so my family are outside. Honestly, it's number one is my family, and then 2 is just living my life. It's all for me. It's all about my family because my family's been there for me since day one.
Day one.
When I was 4 years old, I had a seizure in my grandparents' arms. That was when they,
Wow.
kind of really
Wow.
figured out what was wrong with me at that time. And that they knew that the seizure was caused by the kidney failure.
Hmm.
So I mean, my grandparents have been gone, what, 21, 22 years now. But, it's for them that I keep fighting as well, because they could have, been, crackhead grandparents and just sat there and watched me and let me die or something like that. But, God blessed me enough to have, loving grandparents, that made sure something got done about it. So
Amen to
my
that.
family is definitely the main reason why I keep fighting through all these things that I've had to endure.
Amen to that. Lisa Baxter here is I'm going to show her comment right here, but you went through a lot. What a powerful testimony, and it is. That's quite a journey, and you're an overcomer, and you've stayed steadfast in your faith, which is incredible. In some cases, it can go either way. People can grow in their faith when they're forced with trials like this, or
Right,
they can distance themselves from God. In many ways, if they stay close to God because of this, it makes them stronger and their faith is stronger. For you, it seems like that has grown stronger and you've overcome a lot and your faith has stayed there. The family thing is huge. That is, if it's tremendous that you've got that grounded, rooted support from family. That's fantastic because not everybody whom I've interviewed has always had that, and it sounds like to
right,
you that has been your sure foundation, so to speak, as that's been there for you through thick and thin is your family, and you've been able to move forward because of that. What have they done like on a day where maybe I don't know you're struggling, you're not feeling well, or for example, either when you've just had a seizure or something else. Can you give us an example of how they've lifted you up?
I make care of me tremendously. If I end up in the hospital, usually my dad and my mom come see me. Stay with me a couple minutes. When I had was about maybe about 3 months ago. I had a breathing problem and needed to be intubated. And so, when you intubated, they put you to sleep, of course, unless you're in a tragic
Hmm.
accident or something like that.
Yeah.
So when I woke up, my mom was sitting on the chair in the
Okay.
corner. I didn't even know she knew. I had no idea. And so she came and sat with me like 2 straight days. She came and sat with me. My dad came, brought me stuff that I may have needed, my laptop, some snacks or whatever like that. I'm always getting text messages from family checking on me as well, or messages, on Facebook or Instagram,
Right.
stuff like that.
Okay.
Just kind of letting me know, that I'm in there, to keep fighting and things of that nature. So they're always holding me up.
That's That is such a relief to hear. It really is. And so shout out to your parents, your family, and your family represented, represented tonight from the YNOTT Foundation, and whoever else is watching tonight. Lisa Baxter, of course, Fred Hill, and everybody else who's commented, or people that haven't commented that are watching that are maybe a little shy and haven't commented yet. Um, Thanks for representing Philip, because uh, it is. I have had people reach out to me, and they've said that their friends who, well, people they thought that were friends, after they had kidney failure, had distanced themselves and stopped hanging around. And I've had multiple people struggle with that, and the support that somebody gets or doesn't get when they're going through a trial like this can be critical. Um, it can help you through a tough day. It can help you through multiple tough days and years. And when someone doesn't have it, it can be tough. And so it's such a relief to hear that, Philip. It is. Um, what what I'd also like to talk a little bit more, if we could, is your what inspired you to start your online show, a second chance. What was what was like the inspiration behind that?
That's an interesting story, actually. In the very beginning, um, my show was technically supposed to be like yours, Jonathan Trailers, story of kidney patients, you know, that are pre-op that have a story to tell.
Hmm.
And as I was sitting there trying to think of a name for my show, I kept coming up with names that people already have.
All right,
And
all
then I
right.
realized, I said, uh, maybe the show needs to be more than about kidney patients. Maybe it needs to be, I said, there are more than just kidney patients that have stories. Every some point or another, they've been through
Hmm.
something where they have that somebody needs to hear. Um, and so I said, well, what does that story mean? You know, for about a good week and a half or so, 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden, I just remember sitting here, and I in my head just said a second chance, and I said, I'm sticking with that. That's gonna be it right there. So, um,
That's
that was
inspiration.
the reason behind the name of it, and why,
Hmm.
how I got to it being what it is. It I got to give major props to Jonathan Traylor, because he was one of the first ones. A little bit before yourself, people that I started going to asking for help.
Hmm.
To get this thing started and what to do, and streaming platform to use and things of that nature. And Jonathan, never me away, never said he didn't have the time or anything like that. He always
Yeah,
came through and gave me some kind of answer. And so I'm dead blessed to have a person
that
like
doesn't
him
surprise
as
me.
a friend.
Yeah, he's a
You know,
great man.
uh,
Great guy.
and definitely got to give you props as well. You've helped me a great deal as well through this journey. So, and it's another Riley. He's he a show, different type of show, but he helped me out with um the digital graphic side of it, with giving me the
Okay.
platform to use to be able to do
Uh-huh.
and put those flyers and Instagram stories and things like that I put together. Only he was able to tell me what platform he used, because there's not that many people out there that'll be open to giving out what they use as well. Some people are like, I don't know if I want to tell them that.
Yeah.
you know uh,
Yeah,
so
that's
he
too bad though,
he was
but
open.
yeah, that's good. Because Jonathan Traylor and I, you know, uh, he was on my show, the Warriors Quest show, back in, I want to say, August 2020, and then 2 weeks later he got
Mhm.
his kidney transplant, and uh, just a great guy. And whenever he has a question, man, he can hit me up and I'll answer a question, and vice versa. I think we all should be, I think we should all help each other, and so
Well, that's
that,
definitely true. We
you know
definitely
what
have
I
to help
mean?
each
Yeah,
other. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, if
Definitely,
this is going to be a kidney family, a community, we have to learn
right.
to get past certain things and learn to
Hmm.
extend a helping hand when it's needed.
Right.
That should never be a problem because we've all dealt with somewhat the same things. It's not all the complete same things because no person one story is the same.
Hmm. It's true.
So but at one point we've hit crossroads where things are like, oh yeah, I went through that also. I went through that as well.
Uh-huh.
And so we know what each other's gone through. We spent those times in the hospitals. We've had 911 calls. We've gone through the kidney transplant, dialysis, and things of that nature. So and that's why I'm glad I was able to connect with a guy like Fred Hill. Fred Hill motivates me every Monday, and he's doing the show that I'm, putting on that he said no problem to doing. He's straight as no problem, whatever you need. And so anytime I get his motivational Mondays, it
Hmm.
motivates me to keep pushing and keep doing, for not only for my show, but for school, the YNOTT Foundation, community, things of that nature. So um very happy to have, the family and friends that I have in the kidney community.
That's awesome. Fred Hill, shout out to you, man. That's great that you're giving him encouragement and so on and so forth. Glad to hear that. And I want to give speaking of influencers and people that you collaborate with. I want to give a special shout out to Steve Belcher, because uh, if it weren't for Steve Belcher, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today with the Warriors Quest show. And so, special shout out to my brother from a different mother, Steve Belcher. He took me under his wing, so to speak, and we collaborated and started the Warriors Quest show. He's the one who came up with the name, and we started the show March 6, 2019. And so I've been
That's
interviewing
awesome.
for over 3 years. Yeah, but shout out to Steve Belcher while I'm at it. Um, he's like a brother to me, and I much love and respect to Steve. So Lisa had a question I wanted to bring up, if I can. Here we go. So she always has great comments, and she's got some good questions here. Um, I don't expect you to answer all of them at once, but she says right here, "What will you do when you get your transplant? How does it feel to have a show?" And of course, you already know she does. She's been a host of the Lisa Baxter Show, and so, what have you learned being on dialysis and experiencing a transplant? That's a good question because you've experienced both.
Right. um I'm gonna take it bit by bit and I'm backwards, uh forward. So
That's fine. That's
learn,
fine.
being on dialysis and experiencing a transplant. One, you got to have faith in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. You have to believe that you have the fight in yourself to make it forward and take the and get to the next day. You got to have that in, especially, when you're doing home dialysis. You definitely, sometimes you might have those days where you just feel like crap, you know, which you can also get in center hemo as well,
Right.
but you got to fight through those days. You got to fight through those days. You got to find it deep down in your gut and push through and persevere. So, let me see, because I think I have the question up here as
Yeah, I'll bring it
well.
up again. All right. So
Um,
the
how does it feel to have a show? It feels awesome to have a show, because I'm literally constantly learning. I learned from everybody that's ever been on my show. We've had uh, cancer survivors to kidney transplant, liver transplant recipient. We had our first heart recipient, Johnny Lamucci, who's actually
Very cool.
the manager of Team SoCal. Great guy. Um, and then Brian Hensley is a liver recipient. He was the first firefighter to have a liver transplant and return back to work with that transplant. And so all these, I've had, a number of great people, on our show. I had two good friends of mine. That was like our third show that we did. And, I did it more or less for them for promotional reasons because they were a church trying to start a theater. And
Mm-hmm.
so I showed the production that they put together with their kids and their program, and then interviewed them. So I've had a number of different people come through, and so I think the first person that was on our show, Clarissa Lee, was Austin's mom. She was our very
Okay.
first guest. So we were able to get that awesome story from her.
And she's the
You
one
don't.
that donated to Austin, or
Yeah, she did. She did donate to him. I
right?
think that was
Okay.
his first kidney. She donated it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so the number of people that I get to learn from on a weekly basis just elevates my mind. I mean, I leave our show sometimes feeling like I got a PhD in certain subjects because there's
Yeah,
just so much knowledge that been dropped on me at that time.
I feel
You
you.
know,
I feel you. Me
plus I
too.
got to
Yeah.
Farrell asking these great questions.
Oh
Because he
my
thinks
gosh.
deep.
Yeah, he
Farrell thinks
does.
deep. When he asks his questions,
Mm-hmm.
so I try to just kind of hit the surface to middle part of it, and he's digging deep for these questions, man. And
Yeah,
it makes second chance so much better. So,
it's a good
and then
chemistry.
the
It's a good
last,
chemistry because you
yeah,
both bring different personalities, and I love it. It's a good sort of good. It's a good balance of giving different sort of takes and seeing things with different perspectives. I like it.
right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Um, question was, oh, what will you do to transplant? Probably go stand in the middle of the freeway and dance. Um,
Nice.
yeah, after I get done with recovery, uh, I got that answer from was now a good friend of mine, Crawford Walls. Um, he was on a Jonathan Traylor show as well not too long ago. He just got his transplant maybe about 3 weeks to a month ago.
Amen.
Um,
Praise God.
so congratulations to him.
Hmm.
But I kind of I periodically text him and check up on him, make sure he's doing well. And he said Kenny's working great. He's still a little bit of a little tired, exhausted, but that's part of it. We're like that in that first
Yes.
month and a half of
Hmm.
recovery time. So, like I said, congratulations to him. Congratulations to anybody who just recently got a kidney.
Yes.
Congratulations to all the kidneyversary people, all the liverversary people, heartversary people, lung, any type of that you can have. If you've had one,
Yes.
I want to congratulate you on making
Hmm.
it to that point because very vital point in our life is when we get to that point because now our life changes. We can say it's normal because you don't have dialysis no more. You no longer have to wear LVAD or you don't have to worry about these breathing treatments and things like that. You're out of those woods. You're
Hmm.
back to living your life. You can go to work, go to school, take vacations. Just one thing I can tell you guys is stay on top of your medications. Don't second guess it. If you think you need to put an order in, just put it in. Don't think and then let it go to by the wayside. If you think I need to put these orders in, just put them in. It's better safe than sorry. You might get a message that says, oh, you can't put this order into a week later. That order in your phone, okay, I can put this order in now. Stay on top of your medications. Those are in reality your number one friends are your uh, post transplant medications. What even if you have to take blood pressure meds or anything like that, man, stay on top of your
Okay.
medications because it's going to keep you out of the woods for sure.
That's sage advice, sage advice. And again, that's what I like. You've got that experience where you've had the transplant already previously. And so you've had that experience. And so you can give great tips like that. And because you can, talk from experience, which is huge. Okay. Just because, I've said this so many times, and I want to echo what you've said a little bit, brother, because I feel like I've learned so much from each and every person I've interviewed, and I've I feel like I get inspired in a different way from each person, and so the multiple times I've been, um, I've connected and bonded with somebody because of the interview. I feel like I feel like I'm almost the, the person that gets more of the benefit, but it's obviously mutual because I'm helping people and I'm serving people, and I think that much like what you've done, brother, with the not only your show, and I commend you a second chance, but being a representative with the YNOTT Foundation, you're serving and helping people as well, and it says a lot about your character. It does, you know. You've got a great heart, and I that says a lot about your character that you're giving back. At any rate, I'm I'm rambling a bit. What I wanted to get back to is that the out of all the people that I've interviewed, okay, the one thing that they echo is that it's good to have someone in their corner who can relate. All right. Somebody who has already been there or somebody who's going through it currently. And so when you're giving advice like you just did now, it is sage advice. It's good wisdom because, what if someone is struggling and what if they, there's so many mysteries and there's so much unknown for people. And to give advice like that, it could be really it's priceless. It really is. But let me ask you, because I think there is something to be said, and I think it is powerful that when we do have someone else, all right, whether it's Lisa Baxter or Fred Hill or whoever has been watching that's commented or not commented, and they're connected to our community and they can relate. How does that make you feel when someone else who's been through it or is going through it now comments and gives you encouragement? How does it? I mean, don't get me wrong, all right, because I feel like I do a lot of good, and I serve people and so on and so forth, but I have a glimpse, like a sliver of understanding. But I don't have kidney disease and I don't have kidney failure. I've just interviewed m- numerous people, and my sister-in-law has kidney disease, my twin brother's wife, and then just recently on June 6th, last month, June 6th or 7th, June 7th, my uncle got a kidney transplant, and so praise God. So I have a little bit of an
Oh,
understanding.
congratulations.
Yeah, amen to that. He's for obvious reasons. He lives in a neighboring state, Boise, Idaho. He lives in Idaho, and I live in Utah. But his
Okay.
hospital is here in Utah, Salt Lake City. It's the University of Utah hospital, and so for obvious reasons, he's going to stick around in Salt Lake till I think July 9th in 2 days. So, but anyway, back to what I'm trying to say is that I have a little bit of an understanding, but I can't say, that I know 100% how it feels, and I can't say that I totally get it. And so when you feel Well, you know, when you get comments and encouragement and words from other people in the community that have either already been there or that are going through it currently, how much weight does that carry, and how does that make you feel?
Well, first off, I want to address your point of you not going through it. Just because you have not physically gone through it doesn't mean that you have not gone through it. And it took me to look at my dad to understand that, because
Mm-hmm.
he'd always taking a toll on me, too, and he's like, I know I'm not the one going through it, but I'm still a long time really for me to understand that perspective and how he was looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
So never look at it really as you not understanding, because you've talked, you've learned, you've preached what you've learned as well. So you might not have 100% gone through it, but you can at least give yourself 80, 85%, because you have that knowledge uh, of what we go through. You might not necessarily have the knowledge of physical going through it,
Right.
but you have the wherewithal and mentality of what we go through, which is very important. And things that people like yourself that haven't gone through it need to be able to do a show like you do every week. Because if you don't know anything about it, you're not going to know what questions to ask. You're not going to
Yeah.
know, how to present them or anything like that. So, you, for I don't know how long your sister-in-law dealing with this, but from I would definitely have to say that you've come a long way from day one of not knowing anything, today, to today of knowing what you know. So definitely give yourself some props for that. But when I hear people comment and support myself, people who've gone through it, it lets me know that I'm doing something right. Um, it's 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 a great feeling to that people are listening
Right.
to to what I'm saying, whether it's about my story, or whether it's just having an interview with somebody else, you know. So it adds a lot of I guess a lot of heart to what we do,
Mm-hmm.
because it's good to know when people tell you, hey, you're doing a good job, or you're making a difference, and things of that nature. And
Yes.
so, and you don't, even when you don't feel like it, sometimes the
You
difference, or
never know.
you're doing a good, you never know. And sometimes it just takes for that person to come, hey, man, I've been meaning to tell you, you're doing a great job, you're doing good work. It took for a number of people to tell me that before I really got it in my head that what I was doing was making a difference. Yeah, the
It.
subscribers don't show it, but I've known that a number of people have seen our show, have commented on our show, things of that nature. They may not subscribe, but they watch,
They
things of that
watch,
nature.
right? Mm-hmm.
So
Amen.
yeah,
It does. And you are making a difference, brother. I I love what you do. I love your character. You've got a big heart, and I think that you're deserved of a better quality of life because I just think that you're a great human being. You're a great person. Um, you know, A Second Chance is a great show, and I think you are making a difference. I know that I'll tune in and I get the notification and I'll try to watch every moment I every chance I get, because I want to hear what you guys are talking about. I want to see your guest and the the dialogue that that you have with Tafaro is really good, and you can tell that you've got a good sort of rapport with one another. You know, you feed off each other. But most of all, again, I just want to say that I think that you're a person that seems like you're inspired, and that's a great thing. In- I I say this, and I believe it. I do. Is that I believe that God sends us inspiration on a daily basis. On a daily, honestly, I really believe that. But not everybody knows what to do with it. You know what I mean? It's up to us and how we react to that
Right.
inspiration. And you followed you followed the inspiration and you've acted on it. I think that's outstanding. So, you know, seriously, I applaud you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that 100%.
Well, hey, we're getting closer to the end here, Philip. But um, one of the you've answered some of the questions that Lisa had. But um, what would I guess one last question that would be a good one to ask, if I could, just one last question is, if someone's watching
Yes, sir.
today and and they feel inspired like I've just talked about to do more, and they want to become a living donor for you on your behalf, how would they get connected to you?
I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, um, a number of social media accounts are a second chance, a Facebook page, as well as so connect with me through there as well if it's easier to find our second chance page. Blue white shield that has ASC on it. Um, so you can connect with myself, excuse me, or to I'm the only one really that has a connection to the Instagram and the Facebook page, but I always relay
Okay.
messages to him that come through for Tafaro. Um, you know, if you're any warrior stage 3 to stage 5, please hit up Tafaro. He's doing great work with Kidney Care Coaches, his LLC, where he helps people with stage 5 kidney disease. And what he does is basically take the instructions that your doctors give you and put them in a place for you to understand them and for you to keep fighting and striving and have a better quality of life, even while on with kidney disease. So definitely look into that. It's
Mm-hmm.
kidneycarecoaches.com. But like I said, yeah, on all social medias and please reach out. I'd appreciate it. I have my evaluation on the 27th of this month at Cedar
Okay.
Sinai, and I'm looking to have an evaluation at Scripps Hospital at San Diego as well.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that happens. So definitely, just message me on whichever um, platform I get it from. So you'll never have to worry about waiting 3-4 days for me to answer or anything like that. Unless I'm in class or something like that. But pretty quickly reply to messages.
Well, I'm going to give you just a moment, if I may. We're gonna I'm gonna take this chat off, chat overlay here, and this time, right before we end the show, I always do the shout out. All right, so whom would you like to shout out? Who would you like to thank, or give tribute to, whatever? Who's in your corner, so on and so forth.
Uh, I mean, if you got till tomorrow to be on here, I, can, I can do that for you. I keep it
It's a
short.
long list, huh?
Uh,
Yeah.
I, yeah, it's definitely a long list. But
Yeah.
first and foremost, I want to thank God who's ahead of my life. Also, my parents, my family, um, my best friend Justine, my godson Ocean, um, My brothers to Cook, Edward Drake, Wills Porter, um, Brandy Webster, all of Archie Smith, Nate Wilson, my YNOTT family, Bella Langston, Trish Phillips, yourself, brother as well, Jonathan Traylor, everybody that watched tonight. You are now part of my family. Baxter, Steve, Belcher, um, Ken. Please, I don't know how to say your last name, but thank you for showing up and watching today. Mr. Fred Hill, cannot forget Mr. Fred Hill. For definitely coming through and showing up. Please don't hang me by the throat if I forget. Everybody's been in my life that's impacted my life. I appreciate you. So I'm just kind of taking the short time I have now to name a few names. So.
No, that's all right, brother. If I don't, and I try to do the same thing, and I always feel guilty like I've left somebody out as well. And so, hopefully, anybody who was, listening tonight, watching, and didn't get a chance to comment, we don't know you're watching, then, we're appreciative. We are. But seriously, I'm gonna take this off so it's not covering me. But I want to thank you for coming on. Thank you for helping me and allowing me to interview tonight. It's a privilege. It's an honor. Love what you're doing, and again, a much love and respect for you and what you're doing at Second Chance, and so on and so forth. So thank you so much for coming on. It's been a privilege, been an honor.
The privilege was mine. Thank you, Mr. Brown. I appreciate your show and all the work that you put in to continue this show as well, because definitely something that's needed out there to get these stories put out there and to help people, get these transplants and find living donors. So I appreciate you.
Thank you, my brother. All right, be blessed. Thank you. Peace and blessings. All right, you guys. So we've heard from Philip Jones Jr. and been inspired. What a powerful testimony, powerful story, very inspiring. Um, has gone through this since age 4, had a uh, has gone through the rejection and is back on dialysis, and now we're hearing of all of the good things that he does. So representative of somebody who I want to root for. I mean, if you're not, if you haven't watched this, just watching now, watch it from the very beginning. He's doing great things. He's got a great heart person, and it's somebody who really, I mean, every single person who has kidney disease, in my eyes, deserves a better quality of life. But this is somebody who's representative, in my mind, somebody who needs a better quality of life. So if you've been inspired, I know I have been inspired. Please don't hesitate to act on that inspiration and reach out to Philip. Reach out to him either on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, YouTube, and make sure that you act on that inspiration. All right, so that we can give him a better quality of life, and so that he can have a more extended life, because tomorrow's not promised, and I want his life to have a better future. All right, a better vision for his future is what I want for this fine son of God. All right, so thank you so much for watching tonight. All right, thank you for all the comments, for the shares. I want to thank everyone from Fred Hill, um, from Lisa Baxter, Ken Sarnowski, who, by the way, is a friend of mine. His daughter has cystic fibrosis. And so thank you for tuning in, Ken. And I don't want to leave anybody out. Steve Belcher, my brother from another mother. Love you like a brother. I do. Thank you for watching, for your comments, and being involved with what I do. And let's see. I know there are other people that may have. Oh, Jim Myers. Thank you, Jim Myers. Much respect to Jim Myers and for all that he does in the kidney disease community. And I want to thank Karen. Karen Wint. Thank you, Karen. Anybody else that I haven't, that either didn't comment and you did watch tonight, thank you. I know that you took time out of your day to watch this. And if you watch this on a replay, thanks for watching this on a replay if it's not live, because it means that we're helping Philip. Okay, when we comment, all right, and if you haven't already, drop a comment, because again, like I said this earlier, the algorithm is bound to us when we drop a comment, when we share, all right, when we do things, all right, to this very show. We comment, we share, we like, right, subscribe, do all those things, then it is bound to us, and it will show this particular live broadcast to other like-minded people in the kidney disease community. All right, so please, all right, I know I've said this so many times, but please don't be stingy. All right, share this, please, and let's get this story out there so that Philip has a better quality of life. All right, thank you, Steve. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate you, Lisa. Everyone, again, peace and blessings. All right. Peace. I'm out. Where's that outro? All right. Where's that video? All right. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Ooh, like LeBron though, or like Bonzo. Ooh, I'm a baller, yeah, shot caller, yeah. They love me, you can't touch me, nah, can't trust me. I'm too lucky. Look at me, look at you, what you see, what you do. Baby, please think it through, drink it up, enjoy the view. MVP on my crew, Nike on my shoes. Might be sipping booze, slightly feeling loose. If I want it, then I have it.